right, you ready?
I am.
It is 6 p.m. We will call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Ward 1 absent. Chris, if you could lead us in the invocation and pledge, please. Why is this so loud?
Let's pray. Father, we just come before you tonight, just thanking you again for the blessings that you've given us. Thank you for just the pretty weather. Father, just thank you for keeping us safe, and just pray that you'd be with us tonight, that you would just grant counsel, staff, just wisdom as the things are considered, and that everything that we do would be glorifying to your name. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
A3 citizen comments. We do have 2 general citizen comments. Ms. Chelsea Hester, you'll come to the podium. You'll state your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 4 minutes.
My name is Chelsea Hester. My address.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I start this out, I would like to say absolutely no one is perfect in this town. Vidor is a small town and word travels like wildfire. I had no idea who Rachel Dupleschain was until the day of February 6th, which is a day that will live in my head for the rest of my life, a day that my life changed when tragedy struck. I was involved in an auto pedestrian accident early that morning. That night, I had to be at a baseball draft. While I was sitting in my truck waiting for it to start, Justin Dupleschain was standing at my window talking to me when his wife, Rachel, called him, spreading news about an accident that had yet not been public, and using her power as city secretary to spread the news. I didn't even know that news that was told to me that night. I do not appreciate someone going around and using their power and spreading the information that was not made public yet. I am here and willing to say after the meeting to meet with each and every council member individually to address my statement and to show the proof that I have already provided you. I will show it directly to you from my phone so there's no questions about its truthfulness. However, I doubt anyone in this council will take me up on this offer. I would also like to point out in Rachel's statement that she said I confronted her at the ballpark out of anger after I received a phone call from the city HR. This is not true at all. All I said was I received a phone call from the city. This was said in no anger and was just to inform Rachel that I had received a phone call that she told me to be expecting. It was a brief conversation because I was required to attend to an injury on the field. I do not appreciate Rachel mischaracterizing what I have said throughout all of this.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Chelsea Hester.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Cody Bankin.
Council like copies.
You can if you'd like to. Thank you.
And if anybody else wants to comment, it's brief. My name is Cody Bankin. I live at Bellevue, Texas. Ready?
Yes, sir.
First, I would like to address this council's continuous ability to bungle personnel investigations. This issue all started when the city secretary, Rachel Dupleschain, contacted a citizen during work hours regarding a post she made about Pebble's husband's business. Ms. Dupleschain contacted Ms. Hester via message on the Vidor Little League parent group chat and then called Ms. Hester on the phone. Both communications took place while Ms. Dupleschain was at work. Ms. Dupleschain claimed in her statement that she contacted Ms. Hester because she cared for Pebbles. It's important to note that Ms. Hester's email statement to council, she specifically stated that Ms. Dupleschain informed Ms. Hester that Ms. Eckhoff was seeking the job of city manager, and this was the reason for her call. Ms. Dupleschain stated that she would be passing the information up to someone higher than herself, referencing her role as city secretary. This contact was done on city time at the taxpayer expense, and any reasonable person would think it was done in an official capacity. Council has been provided with statements and proof in the form of phone logs and messages. In the last executive session, council members stated that Ms. Dupleshain was being retaliated against and bullied. She was telling the truth, and Ms. Hester was coerced by Michaela Bankin, my wife, who is friends with Ms. Eckhoff. If we use council's logic and that Ms. Dupleshain is telling the truth, then we can look to her statements to HR where she stated that Michaela and Ms. Eckhoff are not friends, and Ms. Eckhoff called Michaela derogatory names. If we believe this, I'm wondering why the council has disregarded statements from independent citizens who have nothing to gain and have provided proof. Yet you will persecute the HR director after all of this based only on the statements of the mayor who conducted a sham investigation outside of council, and when asked where council the proof was, they couldn't provide any. Also, in the last executive session, council called Ms. Eckhoff Robbie 2.0. During that, one side of the council liked and were friends with Robbie and did everything they could to protect him, while the other side did not like him and tried to get rid of him. This is what is happening here. Council is choosing personal friendships and personal gain over independently reviewing the evidence and doing what is best for the city. Second, I would like to address this council on the strife at City Hall. Council members claimed Ms. Eckhoff was Robbie 2.0, which is saying she was responsible for the strife here. This is not true because many will gladly attest that the main source of strife is from the actions of this council itself. This council has continuously involved themselves in the daily operations of the city despite clear lack of authority per the charter, which states the council shall not become involved in the daily operations of the city by inference or directly. This council has continuously failed in this respect, which has led to council being the primary point of contact for many city employees every time something happens that they do not like. Council members have stated in their last meeting that they want people to be able to come to them to vent, but it is evident that if they do, then members of this council will use that information against them the first time it fits their own agenda, like how Council Member McGowan claimed to use
You can't say
information.
my name out. You should know that.
I was addressing the council. I can say names of people quoting. Is that correct?
Chris?
I would just let the comment finish.
Claimed, as I call from the interview for city manager, speaking about mental health. The reason I'm speaking is because the council said my wife is a liar in the last executive session. I have filed an information request for all information from the last executive session and was told by the city secretary that it would not be able to be given the information because it was consultation with an attorney. If you have been listening, then you have seen that multiple times I have referenced things said in the session by council. Because a member of council has leaked that information from that session and further has informed a third party regarding consultation with an attorney. This shatters the attorney-client protection. Thus, the information from that session should not be protected. This is, of course, unless the council believes they are the arbiter of what information citizens should have, and only those they deem worthy should have it. You also falsely accuse the HR director of leaking information from executive sessions, but it seems council is the true offender. I would like to thank the person responsible for this speech, the person who leaked the information from executive council and executive session, and shatter the attorney-client privilege protection, because the only people there were council itself. The person who leaked it is the councilwoman from Ward 2, Nicole McGowan. Thank you.
B, council consent agenda. Approval of accounts paid, approval of invoices, and approval of minutes from the May 13th meeting. I have a motion by Councilmember Thompson, second by Councilmember McGowan. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Council regular agenda. C1, consideration of possible action to approve and accept the annual auditor's report and related communications required under generally accepting auditing standards for the fiscal year ending in September 30th, 2025, as completed by Brooks, Watson and Company CPAs.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Mike Brooks, audit partner with Brooks, Watson and Company. And as the Mayor mentioned, I will be presenting you with your audited financial statements for the year ended September 30th of 2025. I believe you all have a copy of the complete audit report here in front of you. It's a fairly long report. There's a lot of information in here. I have, for your benefit, prepared a summary presentation. I'll try to keep it short, but I do believe it's going to touch on some of the more important numbers and statements within the report. But once I wrap that up, I will open it up to questions and we could talk about anything you like in more detail. All right, first, I just want to give you a brief overview of the audit process. So the audit can be broken into 3 general phases. The first is the planning and risk assessment phase. So that's typically occurs prior to year end. generally during the summer months, but this is whenever we're coming out, trying to find out what's been going on this year. So any changes in staff, any new grants, new capital projects, new loans, anything that's going to impact the extent of our audit testing. That is a risk-based assessment, so areas of higher risk are going to get more attention, and we're going to modify our testing procedures to address those risks. But from that process, we walk away with a preliminary audit plan that's going to drive the year-end audit procedures. So the next stage is generally what you're used to with an audit. This is after the books have been closed for the year, so all the accounts reconciled, accruals made, adjustments made by the city. So at this point, we are coming out and reviewing all the material year-end assets, liabilities, and the year-to-date revenues and expenditures across all funds. So if there is any activity that does meet our materiality threshold, we are auditing it in some form or fashion. And the next stage is the conclusion and reporting. So this is the wrap-up of any findings and recommendations, the providing of our journal entries to the city to post in the city's accounting system, and the preparation of the audit report and presentation and acceptance of that audit report by the city. All right, next, just want to briefly go over the components of your annual financial report. So first, we have the financial section. This includes your independent auditor's report, MD&A, and financial statements, including the notes to the financial statements. Then we have the required supplementary information. That includes your budget to actual for your general fund, your pension and OPEB schedules. And finally, we have the other supplementary information, which includes your combining statements for your non-major funds, as well as other budget to actual statements. All right. And most notably, what we consider to be the most important component of your audited financial statements is our independent auditor's report. So everything you see in front of you in the report is derived from city financial data and city policies, with the exception of our independent auditor's report. And this is, in essence, our opinion over the reliability and accuracy of these financial statements. This opinion can have four possible outcomes, the best being an unmodified audit opinion, and the worst being a disclaimer. So you really don't want anything other than an unmodified audit opinion. It means something went wrong to some degree as you get further down that line. But we are happy to say that we were able to issue a clean, unmodified audit opinion. This is the highest level of assurance that we can give that these financial statements are free of any material misstatement, and all footnotes are disclosed in accordance with GAAP. All right, next, just going to touch on a few highlights. So as of the end of the year, total citywide net position was $29.3 million. Your net position increased by $7.8 million this year. Your governmental funds, this excludes your sanitation fund, had combined ending fund balances of $6.6 million. This was a decrease under last year of about $1.4 million. And your general fund, unassigned fund balance in the general fund totaled just under $3.8 million, which represented about 41% of your annual general fund expenditures. Next is a summary of your governmental activities revenues, which totaled just over $18.8 million in total this year. This was an increase of just under $6.4 million. The four largest being capital grants, which had a significant increase this year of about just under $5.8 million, and ended the year at $8.9 million. So a pretty significant grant activity this year. Your sales taxes totaled $4.1 million, increased $326,000. And property taxes totaled $3.4 million and increased $38,000. Your charges for services totaled $800,000 and increased $352,000. Next is a summary of your governmental activities expenses, which total just under $11.2 million this year. This was an increase of about $560,000 from the prior year. Public safety was your largest functional expense at $4.9 million and increased about $200,000. Public works was next at $3.3 million, increased $629,000. Your general government expenses totaled $2.3 million. And had a decrease this year of about $280,000. Culture and rec totaled $459,000, and then your interest expenses totaled $162,000. All right, Next is a summary of the changes in fund balance for your governmental funds. So at the top, you see the fund name with general fund, disaster recovery, and so on. So I do just want to point out the overall changes in each of these funds. Starting with the general fund. The general fund had a decrease in fund balance this year of about $236,000. Your disaster recovery fund decreased $274,000, and your CDBG fund decreased $1.2 million. For both the disaster recovery and CDBG fund, the decreases are very typical with grant funds. You have grant expenditures in one year. You may have the actual funding come in at a later date. So that's what's occurring here. And then your total non-major funds, which just include your smaller special revenue funds, had an increase this year of $355,000. So I do want to point out the ending fund balance for the general fund, which totaled just over $6 million this year. And let's talk about that on the next page. So the city does have a policy to maintain an unassigned fund balance within the general fund that equates to about 50% of your annual budgeted general fund expenditures. So as I mentioned, the city currently ended at about 41%, but I do want to show you the 5-year history of your general fund balance percentage. So you're currently at 41%. Last year, 44, 49, 52, 49. So although it is below your 50% threshold, it is would be considered a very healthy unassigned fund balance. And in addition to the unassigned portion, the city does have a general committed fund balance as of the end of the year, which totaled about $2.3 million. So if you were looking at both of those numbers together, you would be somewhere around the 66%, about 2/3 of your annual general fund expenditures. All right. So next is a budget to actual for your general fund. On the left-hand side, you see the final budgeted numbers and then the actual results in the middle. And then you're either positive or negative budget variance on the right-hand side. Starting on the upper right, the city did have a positive revenue variance of about $392,000. So you received that much more than you anticipated with your budget. You came in over budget on revenue. Below that, the city had a negative expenditure variance of about $331,000. So you had more expenditures than you anticipated. I will say most of this is related to an audit entry that we made. It's kind of a unique entry where we have to record a significant capital outlay as well as an offsetting lease. So those two numbers do net out somewhat, and you see the effect of that right below that. So in your other financing sources, this would be your lease proceeds or transfers. It's primarily lease proceeds, and it's a positive variance of $295,000. So if you're going to look at these two numbers, you would want to net those together to get the true impact. But overall, when the city did anticipate with their final budget a decrease in fund balance of $591,000, your actual decrease was much less than that at $236,000, which gave you an overall positive budget variance this year of about $355,000. Okay. Next is a summary of the activity for your sanitation funds. The sanitation fund is what's called an enterprise fund. So this does operate differently than your governmental funds. It is funded by fees, and those fees should be set at a level that does fund operations, any debt service, and any capital improvements. So if this fund is losing money or having an operating loss, that's typically an indication that something functionally is going wrong there. Either the rates aren't set at the right level, or maybe there's some operational changes that need to be made. But that is an important number to look at. So that's the first number I'm going to point out here. So the city sanitation fund did have operating income this year of $149,000. So everything we saw, the fund is in good shape and self-supporting. And the ending net position was also in a good spot. All right. Okay, so that concludes my summary presentation of the numbers and statements. In addition, you have two of our audit letters in your packet. One is our required auditor disclosure letter. So this gives us an opportunity to discuss any issues we had with the completion of the audit, as well as the, does everybody have a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As well as implementation of any new accounting standards and the journal entries that we proposed for the audit. So the city did adopt GASB 101 this year over compensated absences, so that was incorporated into this report. In addition, we did have some audit adjustments. I will say they were improved from last year, so the number of accounts that we had to adjust did go down this year. And we did have a few findings and recommendations, nothing that we felt were overly concerning, but we did have a few that I'd be happy to talk about if you guys like.
Can you identify those findings?
Sure. So if you do have the second letter that I referenced.
Is that starting with effective controls over
It
finance?
is, yes. So starting with that first comment, this finding is required to be communicated to City Council whenever the auditor comes in and prepares the financial statements on behalf of the city. It's very common with cities, especially a city the size of Vidor. We do it for 90+% of our clients. They also utilize us to prepare the financial statements. But the takeaway is the city is utilizing us over the internal control over financial statement disclosure. So without us coming in and doing this, the city doesn't have the technical ability to produce a full set of basic financials with footnotes, MD&A, which again isn't uncommon. It's very common. But we are required to report that as a weakness in internal control.
So can you kind of break that down for us whenever you say footnotes, things like that? What does that mean?
So if so the audited financial statements, so this document, without us coming in and preparing this on the city's behalf, the city would either need to do it internally or hire another third party to come in and do it. Okay. And the fact that we do it is why the comment is here.
Okay, so it's a standard comment that you typically...
Very standard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and next one is related to the closing process. So although the journal entries did go down this year, there were still enough that we felt that it was a good recommendation to make sure some of these areas are tidied up and closed out. So whenever we come in for an audit, we're looking at all the year-end activity. We're making sure all the accruals have been made, the capital assets have been captured, it's being depreciated correctly, all the debt payments are being applied correctly, and so on. There's many, many things that could cause an adjustment. It's really just saying this account wasn't, is not materially correct as we saw it, so we made an adjustment to put it into what's called generally accepted accounting principle. So we'll make anywhere from, on the extreme end, 0 journal entries. So we have some clients where we don't make a single journal entry. That's definitely not the norm either. So that's a very unique case there. Up to, I've made as many as 50, on a particular client. So, and everywhere in between. But anytime we're coming in and making what we would consider to be a material amount, so more than 5, more than 10, there is some room for improvement there. And now the city has made those improvements, so comparing from last year to this year, that number did go down, and I believe it's probably the last 2 years they've gone down steadily. City had a software conversion 2 years ago that carried into last year as well, so there was a little more cleanup than you would like with any given year. But because of there was still some adjustments this year, we made this comment.
Okay, and anything that you guys, so journal entries or anything over what's that amount?
It varies per fund and per type of activity. So we have some audit calculations that we do that we will determine what those numbers are. I don't have them in front of me, but it would vary.
Okay. Were there any specific areas that you can help us identify so that we can improve on those in the future? Yeah, and at the back of the first letter is a list of all those journal entries. So really, anything back there could be one that the city makes. Oh, you're talking
can
about
make on their own.
This one here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
Those are okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right, the next comment was related to just information technology access. So anytime an employee is terminated from their employer, the cities should have a policy that do cut off their user accounts and any ability to potentially access the city's financial systems or whatever modules they have control over. We did not find that somebody had accessed anything, but we do test for terminated employees to make sure that their accounts have been terminated and they could not potentially access something, or somebody else could access something in their name. We did find one employee that their account had not been completely shut off yet. So our recommendation is just to make sure that the city enforces the policy that's in place and more closely monitors that. All right, next one is related to a balance of the city's cash. It was actually an investment account, a CD, that exceeded the FDIC and did not have collateral pledge to cover a loss in case of a bank loss. So that would be anything over $250,000. So the city's depository agreement also includes a collateral pledged agreement against those deposits. So if the bank ever happens to fail, anything above the FDIC would be covered by those that pledged collateral. So the city would be made whole for that. So that is a requirement of the Public Funds Investment Act. The city should have all deposits over FDIC covered by some sort of collateral pledged agreement. This particular account was not in the bank's standard depository. It was in a CD, and it was over by 20,000 or so over the FDIC. So.
Well, have we done, Pebbles, I'm sure you probably already jumped on it.
Yes, ma'am. I caught it up right before the audit was over. Do good. There was an error. Do good. Michael and Nicole actually had to get it corrected because they still had Katrina Jones on there. Even after y'all gave a resolution for me to be able to correct it, I still couldn't do it. Michael and Nicole had to go correct it for me.
Okay. And then we fixed the technology access.
That was, we had left Chief Carroll, I believe, on for a little bit after, and I think that was the ding for that.
Oh, okay. But we've taken care of all that stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a safe trip back.
C2, discussion and possible approval of 100% plans for the West Circuit Detention Pond for CDBG MIT HMGP supplemental grant.
Mayor, I'm going to interrupt you. Just do you want any action to approve and accept
Oh.
the audit? From what I see.
I apologize, yes. I need a motion.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thompson to approve the audit. Second by Councilmember Gatlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C2, discussion and possible approval of 100% plans for the West Circuit Detention Pond for the CDBG MIT HMGP supplemental grant number 22-119-013-D523. Super excited about this, I'm just going to say.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Steve, you starting?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Cheryl Ray with Gary Trailer Associates, and I'm Steve Jordan with Schomburg and Polk. Tonight, this project is converting existing city-owned property along the north and west side of West Circuit into a retention pond. It will regrade and reshape some of the ditches, directing flows into the new retention pond, as well as regrade and shape ditches to take excess flows out of the detention pond. If you so choose, we would ask that you would approve this contingent upon final approval from the grant administrator as far as the forms, as well as final approval from Percy and staff as they have those plans to review as well.
So if council isn't familiar, and Vicki may know, this is the area where we've been doing all the buyouts for years, since well before Harvey, in pieces, and we finally got enough of it bought out and done where we can finally move forward with this pond.
Very exciting day.
Yes,
Long time coming.
a very long time, because it started, Rita, Ike, like, the buyout started back then,
Yeah.
before Harvey. So,
Buyouts, yes.
I need a motion to approve this. Have a motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Watson. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0 with approval of the other people you stated as well.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on one second. Jessica has a question.
I'm sorry. On the audit, he stated that we have a $1.4 million deficit in the CDBG. Fun.
We received, it was just, we had the
It's
extended
time.
releases the year before, we already received the money.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
timing,
just
because all those
making
grants
sure.
is just in and out, in and
Yeah.
out, in and out, but there could be a timing difference between the years.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
C3, consideration and possible action to approve a resolution regarding permit fees for peddler permits, food truck permits, and possible use of special event or park usage permits for Con Park to include revisions to adopted policies if needed. Who's,
Mayor, council, this was our visitor center employee met with the Compart Committee, and they had some suggestions for permitting fees, getting a permit for the park use. And I met with our code enforcement supervisor, we met with Percy, and we came up with a few ideas for y'all to discuss and approve or not approve. So they called around to surrounding cities. Beaumont's was ridiculous. It was like $210 for food truck permit. We were $10. That was our original permit, was $10. But we did like that some of the other cities had a high-risk food truck and a low-risk food truck. So like if you cooked and you had open flames, that was more of a high risk. And if you had a snow cone or an ice cream shop, that was more low risk. So we came up with $75 permit for a high risk, $25 for a low risk, and $25 for an event food truck. So the $75 and $25 would be the food trucks that are like parked across the street in the parking lot or down over there by Cindy's. And then if you have an event at Con Park and the food truck was coming to event, then they would have to pull a $25 permit from us to be in the event.
so all of this is regardless if they already have like their Orange County Health Department permit and stuff like that?
Yes, because they still have to come here and pull one anyway. And then the peddler's permit has been $10 for, as far back as we could research it. And so we just suggested a $20 fee. And I think your peddler's permit is like if you want to sell wood across the street or produce across the street, you got to come and pull a little peddler's permit. And then Con Park doesn't have a permit for the use, so we just came up with a Con Park use permit instead of just going with special permits at $25.
So each person has to get a food vendor permit plus a Con Park?
Well, it wouldn't be each person, so it would be your food trucks that would come and get their permit. And then if, like, say, the music jam is going to be at the park, they just need to come and pull a park permit.
So they wouldn't need the event vendor permit and the Con Park use permit, just one of them?
They
Or-
would, so the food vendors would need to pull their own permits. And then the
Whoever's
chamber
holding the
or
event
whoever's
would-
putting on the event would come and pull the Con Park permit.
So the Con Park permit, is that per vendor, or that's just for the
No,
event?
that's just one
a
time, and
okay.
then your food vendors would come and pull their own permit.
Okay.
So if you have 10 food trucks, then there would be 10 permits. Each food truck would pull their own permit.
Okay, so clarification, because I know some of the chambers in the office for the festival. So the food vendors, it would be, if they're cooking food on site, $100. If it's snow cone smoothies, ice
No,
cream.
it would just be $25. So the 75 and 25 are food trucks that are just, that their yearly permit that they pull.
Okay, so anywhere in the city,
Yes.
they need that.
Like the young lady across the street that cooks the really good empanadas, she would do one time a year, pull a permit. Is that right, Rick? One time a year is their food permit?
Right, the way I understand it is, the empanada truck across the street, they would pay a one-time fee for a year for $75, since she's high-risk category and requires a health certificate. If she should participate in a Con Park event, she would pay an additional $25, but not a food permit, because she's already covered her food permit. But she would pay the $25 to enter into the event. It would be $100 for a food truck that's coming from Arkansas to get an event, so they can get their health certificate, get the city permit, and then pay the $25 to get into the Con Park.
So it is $100 if they don't already have, if they're not a local vendor that already does something in the city. Okay.
So that was just the general idea that we sat down and discussed. And then, and again, this was just recommendations from from the committee.
My one thought is, I think the peddler permit at 10, the purpose of the peddler permit was more for safety, to know who was there and what they were doing versus, I mean, if somebody's selling firewood, they're not making a whole lot of
Correct.
money. I think the peddler permit needs to stay at 10. If they're selling,
That was actually the code supervisor's recommendation too.
if they're selling fruits and vegetables, I mean, they've already spent a lot to grow them fruits and vegetables. I don't think they should have to pay 20. I think that one should stay 10.
Does that cover the cost for the city for what they're having to do and the work that they're putting in? As long as it's covering the cost of what code is having to do or the visitor center, I think that's really what we need to be looking at versus,
And
I
that
mean, I
that was
think we
the
need to
whole
take both
point of
things into
pulling these out.
consideration, of course.
Now, we have been working, Hannah had called around, we have been working on all of our permits because we are well under all of the surrounding city. I mean, so when we have to do a permit for an electrical inspection, we're just breaking even. So we're eventually going to bring all the permit fees back. So eventually, it will all even out. Even the $10, I think, will still be fine.
Rick, you're comfortable with the $10 for whatever a peddler permit requires? It's simple enough that 10,
I concur with what you said,
Okay.
100%. You're barely making money as it is, so why put a person out for their financial,
okay,
for selling wood?
thank you.
The Con Park use permit, each person is going to have to pay that?
No, that would just be like if the event is going to have an event out at the park, they would just have to, like the noise ordinance permits that they pull, they would just come here and just pull that permit for their event. And it would just be for event use.
So it would be one $25
Yes, ma'am.
permit that covers,
That entire
Yeah.
day of the park, yes, ma'am.
okay, and that's.
And that's
cool.
another, it's just so we know who's out there, who's doing what. And then it's a way for the city to be able to recuperate some of that because we're going to have to go out there and check and do all those things.
Okay.
So, and I'm trying to get clarification here, is the Con Park permit for each and every single person, or is it
No,
the
ma'am.
person who's holding the event?
The person holding the event.
Okay.
So
it's
for
not
instance, the
$100.
Chamber's doing music jam, they would come and pull a
Just the
Con
one
Park
permit.
permit.
So it's
Okay.
not $100 if somebody decided to go over
ma'am,
there to Con Park
$25.
and they're already across the street?
Correct. The
Okay.
Con Park use permit is just for the event to use the park.
Okay. That was my one, the peddler was my one suggestion.
I think we should stay at $20. Either that or meet in the middle, because we need to cover the city's cost. And I don't think, if you haven't sat down and dug into how much time they actually spend on that.
Well, Rick agrees that the 10 covers what they have to do. I would-
So that covers code, right? But does that cover the visitor center? Because she also has time that she's invested.
Well, the
For-
peddler's
not for the
permits
peddler
really
permit.
don't, the peddler's permits really don't ever touch the visitor center. That is
Is
just,
Allison here? But does that permit come through you, or do you have to do anything for that?
all these would go through code.
Any event that happens, if they're having market vendors, food truck vendors, all of that goes directly to code. I don't actually touch it. I get the final application. Once it's finished, they've been permitted just to put with our file so that when the event happens, we have to have, depending on the number of people, we have to have the city representative so that we have a file. So if there is an issue, we can say this vendor is fully permitted. It has to do with riders and waivers and insurance and all of that. So I only get the final paperwork. I don't deal with anything else.
So
Okay,
there's
then
no-
Pebbles,
But
this-
she wouldn't be dealing with the peddler permits
No.
anyway. The peddler permits are usually, like the gentleman that sells produce across the street. I mean, she wouldn't deal with them anyway. They'd just go straight to code.
And does it cover?
For them to fill out the paperwork and give them a piece of paper, yes, ma'am.
Okay, as long as it covers it.
Do you have a motion?
Motion,
Motion to do all and change the peddler to 10?
yeah.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Barker, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C2, discussion and possible action to approve a resolution authorizing and approving the sale of a PD Charger through Renee Bates Auction House's surplus property. Chief?
Okay, so this is our, I think, next to last car that we fully own outright. This is from, I want to say it's a 2012. It was Tommy Verrett's car.
He was hoping to retire.
He was hoping to
and take it out.
And take
retire
it
with
with
it, and he finally decided it's not safe. So I took it away from him, and he's crying tears. But we're going to, we already got in the process of stripping it out, getting all the equipment that we can use out of it, and then we just want to auction off and get what we can.
Poor Tommy.
He was hoping that'd be his retirement gift.
I have a motion by Councilmember Barker, second by Councilmember McGowan. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Tell Tommy we're sorry. C5, discussion and possible action to approve a resolution amending Resolution Number 1386 to authorize the use of Unit 200, the 2016 Mack garbage truck, for parts instead of selling the truck. Percy?
Mayor, council, this reason we're asking for this is we have another garbage truck that's transmission's going out in. And if I'm not mistaken, talking with Justin, it's about $18,000 for a transmission for this truck. So we've come up with taking the transmission out of this truck that was for sale and using it in this, truck number right now is 302. I know this shows for 200, but it's actually 300 on the truck itself. And then turn around and put it back up either on Renee Bates or whatever and sell it out for parts.
Okay.
And just for reference, we had an original buyer, the first go-round it was on Renee Bates, and then when it came time to pay, they decided they weren't going to, and we don't have any hits on it this time.
Okay.
As of today, I checked, today was the last time I checked.
Well, we need to get that garbage truck up
I'll
and
make a
running.
motion.
A motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor? Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, motion carries 4-1. C6, discussion and possible action to approve a resolution authorizing the execution of the Southeast Texas Alerting Network stand agreement to participate. Chief?
Okay, so in the past, this program has been fully funded by grants through the Regional Planning Commission. That funding is going away. So we have met with other entities and with our business partners. Our business partners have agreed to cover 50% of the program, which, and we're going to divvy up the rest of the program amongst all the other entities based on population. If everybody participates, our contribution would be around $1,800 to stay continuing with the learning network.
I mean, it's important, we have to do it.
Yeah. It'll be next year's budget.
Have a motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C7, discussion and possible action to approve a resolution approving a part-time permit clerk position for code enforcement. Rick? And if you will look in your binder, you have some information.
Rick, Code Enforcement Supervisor for the City of Vidor. Mayor Sanj Hart, council members, city staff. I'm seeking approval to hire a part-time permits clerk for my department due to the operational tempo increase. Currently, as we sit, if I could hire somebody beginning July 1st, I'll be short $315 to fill the position to the end of the fiscal year. If you look to the next page, I did a side-by-side comparison for the 2 years prior to my hire to the 2 years after I've been hired. The left side being the 2 years prior, the right side being the 2 years after my hire date. There's a 47% increase in letters of violation that were written. In permitting, we have a 15% increase. And in permit cost, we have a 65% increase, going from $124,000 for the years 22 and 23 to $354,000 in the years 24 and 25. And also, my department is, I think it's pretty well known that my department, we've been very proactive on doing things that this city has not done prior to my arrival, such as warrants, issuing warrants. We're doing food truck inspections randomly. We're doing a lot of stop work orders. We're writing more citations than we have in the past. And I don't have the specific numbers on all these, so these are just generalities. We have more court appearances, which are pretty much mandatory now. And this started with Judge Abbott, and Judge Abbott loved that idea because we assist him in making his decisions. And then mandatory meetings. When I first got here, the code department itself was not involved in any of the meetings that involved code. And that was due to the prior administration. Since the administration has changed, I'm involved in almost every meeting, which just takes time. It takes me out of the office and whatnot, so we have less people in the office at any given time. And the other big factor to it is we're the only department up here in the city that has one permit, one clerk, compared to all the other departments that have two. The problem with it that we incur is that when we have a customer that comes up to the window, when they bring us a problem, that problem is not usually solved within 3 to 5 minutes because we're talking codes, we're talking law. So we got to be very careful in how we respond to customers. And sometimes our conversations to resolve it will take 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We get into property law. We get into all these situations, I guess you could say. And with one permit clerk doing this, another customer will come up to the window and we have nobody there to take care of that customer right off the bat. Now, of course, what we're doing is we're flexing. Either I'll come up there and help out or another code officer will do that. But what we're doing is we're taking money that we're paying for a code officer position and making them a clerk. So you're losing money on that. You're paying somebody to be a code officer, but they're acting as a clerk. The other issues with that, of course, is if my permits clerk is involved with a 45-minute conversation over a replat, and then the phone's ringing, and they go constantly. And again, that phone call is not a simple, yes, that's it, your bill's paid, move forward. It's often, why did I get a letter in the mail? And then we're sitting there arbitrating what happened and why you got a letter in the mail. Or what do I have to do to build my own house? And these are not answers that we can give in 3 minutes. These are lengthy answers. So it takes up a lot of time from my single permit clerk. And she gets overwhelmed. And I'm seeking for approval for a part-time permit clerk.
Are you fully staffed right now?
Yes.
So you have the one clerk.
I have one clerk, 2 code officers. Well, 1 code officer and 1 code officer in training,
Plus yourself.
plus myself.
Okay. I was like, you're missing a person.
Well, yeah.
Not sure. Not sure we figured that out.
So we had, I'm not sure that this is
Right now?
no.
Yeah. Do we need to table?
I think there needs to be further discussion, maybe, that we could have with you,
Absolutely.
Okay.
if that's okay.
It's your choice, not mine.
We'll table it to the next
Yeah.
meeting. That gives just a little more time to talk about some of the things.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
C8, consideration and possible action to appoint David Bickerton as interim streets, parks, drainage supervisor. This was something that got overlooked last time when Percy was moved up, so we need to approve David to step into his spot.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Barker. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C9, consideration and possible action to approve a temporary pay increase for David Bickerton while acting as interim streets, park, drainage supervisor starting on 5/15, which is the day he started in that position, and continuing while serving as interim street drainage supervisor. So he will go to the supervisor pay.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Barker, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C10, consideration and possible action to approve a temporary pay increase for Percy Flanagan while acting as interim city manager, starting on 5/15, which is the day he started, and continuing while serving as interim city manager. We do have a citizen comment for this one. Ms. Webb?
Oh, I don't have a comment, I was just saying that I didn't think it was, should be done, sorry.
Okay.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember McGowan,
Second.
second by Councilmember Barker. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0, so he will go to the city manager pay. C11, public hearing to show just cause why buildings, dwellings, or structures located at 1020 Strickland, Vidor, Texas should not be demolished or repaired in accordance with the ordinances of the city of Vidor, Texas. We will open the public hearing at 6:50. Rick, it's your show. Blue folder has the information in it. Oh, we got Lane as backup too?
Council, city staff, I'm still the same person. I guess before we get started, I wanted to go over a couple things here, just to update the council on what we've done year-to-date. Year-to-date, the Code Enforcement Department has demolished 4 structures located at 375 West Tram, which was an abandoned public nuisance, which attracted vagrants and had drug use in it. We also demolished 890 Archie and 900 Archie, which is an abandoned public nuisance, and 1150 Highway 12, which was a public nuisance due to a structure fire. These were all done for the city at little to no cost to the city or the taxpayers.
That was Brewer and then the 2 Inzer ones, correct?
I'm sorry?
It was Brewer that did the tram and then the 2 Inzer ones.
2 injured ones,
On
and then
Archie.
there was a commercial business off of Highway 12
Okay.
that had a structure fire, and they did the demo themselves.
Perfect.
Tonight, I'm looking to get approval to either repair, remove, or demo the following properties, which is at 1020 Strickland, 515 Woodland, 1290 Dogwood, 1390 Dogwood, and 310 East Tram. And going forward, after this, should I obtain approval, my next list of properties will be 1540 Dogwood, 340 East Cortland, 1740 Chinkapin, 7090 Hillside, and 25 Cameo. And that's just going forward, what the plan is.
So this one is on 1020 Strickland. Can we discuss that one?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm just going to ask a few questions for Rick, just for the public hearing purposes. So, Mr. Vanke, can you state your position with the city of Vidor?
Rick Vanke, Code Enforcement Supervisor, City of Vidor.
And who's the owner of 10?
Hold on a second. In the 1020 Strickland, there is a picture of Nicole's house.
Oh, how'd that get in there? That's your house?
Stay in your lane.
Okay.
I don't have it in my packet either. Rick?
I don't know how that got in there, by mistake probably.
Okay, let's get back on track.
Okay, so for 1020 Strickland, who is the owner of that property that you determined?
The owner of that property is George Parrish Jr.
Okay. Did you determine if there were any lien holders on this property?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and who were
Shell
those?
Point Mortgage.
Okay.
And Orange County Tax Assessor Office.
So the Orange County Tax Assessor Collector, that's just for unpaid taxes?
Correct.
Okay. What did you notice about this property when you inspected it?
1020 Strickland has severe fire damage, as indicated on the photos that the council has. So you should be looking at tab C11, I believe it is. And also of note on 1020 Strickland, the city paid money to drain the pool. Myself and Lane went out there and drained the pool. I felt that was a safety hazard for any residents in the area, that children could fall in the pool. So we went out and rented a pump, and then with the help of Percy as well, too.
Well, and this resident no longer lives in this state and has nothing to do with the property and is not going to do anything with the
He lives
property.
in Colorado.
So what day did you inspect the property?
Inspected the property, I believe it was March 14th and January 5th.
Okay. And that's when you determined that it was in a substandard dangerous condition?
Yes, sir.
And were there any other inspections or follow-ups done after that time?
Absolutely, sir. Just randomly, whether it be a drive-by, see if there's been any change to the property, and also again when we went there to drain the pool.
Okay. Are there any other mortgages, lien holders, interest holders, other than the ones we talked about?
None that I know of.
Okay. Did you provide notice to the owner of the violations?
Yes, sir.
And was that in a letter dated January 29th to 26th?
Yes, sir. It's certified format.
Okay, and did you provide a copy of the substandard building inspection report?
Yes, sir.
And was the property also red tagged and prohibited for occupancy?
That's correct.
And what violations did you note in your letter?
1020 Strickland was in violation of 10-271 A1 through A7.
Okay. Did you advise them they had 30 days to make repairs, remove the structure, or demolish it?
Yes, sir.
And was that deadline on or about March 2nd, 26?
Around the sure, yes.
Okay. Were any permits pulled for the repairs?
None, sir.
And were any repairs actually made?
None, sir.
Have you had any other contact with the owner since those letters?
Yes, I've had regular contact with the owner out of Colorado. He stated that he filed bankruptcy and that he was absolved of the responsibility of the property, and indicated that I needed to contact Shell Point Mortgage, which I did call Shell Point Mortgage, and Shell Point Mortgage had no interest in the property.
Okay. So he made no representation that he was either going to or had any plans to make any repairs or demolish it? Okay. Does the property remain in the same or worse condition as you inspected it in January?
I'm going to say worse, sir, just because the pool will keep filling up eventually.
Okay. And do you believe the structure is in violation of Chapter 10 of the Vidor Code of Ordinances?
100%.
And you believe the structures meet the definition of a dangerous structure as defined by 10-271?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe the structure meets the definition of substandard?
Yes, sir.
Can the structure be brought into compliance at a total cost of no more than 50% of the fair market value?
Absolutely not.
And is the structure dilapidated, deteriorated, decayed, or damaged to the extent that it's unfit for human habitation?
That's correct. Sounds good.
And is the structure, do you believe the structure is a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare?
Absolutely.
And did you provide notice to the owner of this hearing?
Yes, I did, sir.
And you provided notice to the lien holders of this hearing?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay. That's all I have, Mayor.
Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak on this property? Heather, you're shaking your head. We know you want it demoed. No, come up here if you want to. She's just going to support you. She lives in the neighborhood. I know what she's doing.
I think my mother-in-law's called about this property probably once a week for, I don't know, forever. But it's been burnt for several years. And we do have a ton of kids in the neighborhood, and they do like to explore things that are abandoned, even other houses in the neighborhood that nobody wants to take care of. So please tear it down. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Anybody else? Okay, we'll close the public hearing on this one at 6:57. C12, consideration and possible approval of an ordinance finding certain buildings, dwellings, and/or structures located at 1020 Strickland, Vidor, Texas, to be public nuisances and ordering the demolition and/or repair of buildings, dwellings, or structures. Have a motion by Councilmember Barker, second by Councilmember McGowan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0 on that one. C13, public hearing to show just cause why the buildings, dwellings, or structures located at 515 Woodland, Vidor, Texas should not be demolished or repaired in accordance with the ordinances of the City of Vidor, Texas. We will open this public hearing at 6:58.
Again, council members, if you look through your tab on C13, I think it's pretty evident that this structure suffered
This was another fire as well, right?
severe fire damage. As a matter of fact, every property that's going to be before you tonight is due to fire damage.
Okay. Oh, this one's worse.
They're all pretty bad.
Okay. All right, Chris.
Mr. Banky, you still the same person? Same position? Yes, sir. Still the code enforcement officer? This property for 515 Woodland, who determined the owner's worth of this property?
The owners are Al Hickey, Hackett, and Mark Lorette. Which are both deceased.
Okay. Did you have any contact with anybody representing them or their heirs?
Per se, no. There was an occupant of that structure when the structure burned. It's a relative of Alvin Hackett and Margaret Shima, but he was not in there.
Okay. Any lien holders that you determined?
Only county tax assessor office.
And that's just for unpaid taxes to your
That's correct, sir.
Okay. What did you observe about this property when you inspected it?
That it pretty much isn't there anymore.
Okay.
I mean,
Because of the fire?
it's catastrophic fire. Yes,
Okay. And what was the date that you inspected the property?
January 5th, 2026.
And did you complete a substandard building inspection report based on that inspection?
Yes, I did, sir.
And were there any other inspections or follow-ups done just to see if repairs were made after that?
Correct, same as 1020 Strickland, consistent drive-bys to see if there was any change or to the property.
And there wasn't?
No.
Okay. Are there any other mortgages, lien holders, or interest holders on the property that you were not notified?
I listed John Wesley Shima as an interest holder because, like I said, he is an occupant of the structure.
Yes.
When it happened, but he is not an owner.
Did you send him a letter?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you provided notice to the owner and the occupant of the property?
That's correct.
And that was in a letter dated January 29th and 26th?
Yes, sir.
And did you provide a copy of the substandard building inspection report to him?
Yes, I did.
And was the property also red tagged and prohibited for occupancy?
Yes, sir.
What violations did you note in your letter?
I believe that was also 10-271, A1 through A7 as well.
Okay. Did you advise them that they had 30 days to make repairs, remove the structure, or demolish them?
Yes, sir.
And was the date for compliance on or about March 2nd or 26th?
That's correct, sir.
Were any permits pulled for the repairs?
None, sir.
Were any repairs made?
No, sir.
Any contact from the owner?
From the owners, no, sir. There is
Any contact from anyone involved with the property?
John Shine,
The occupant?
the unofficial heir.
Okay. Does the property remain in the same condition or worse than when you first inspected it in January?
Same condition, sir.
Do you believe the structure is in violation of Chapter 10 of the Vidor Code of Ordinances?
Absolutely.
And do you believe the structure meets the definition of a dangerous structure as defined by 10-271?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe the structure meets the definition of substandard?
Yes, sir.
Can the structure be brought into compliance at a total cost of no more than 50% of the fair market value?
No, sir.
And is the structure dilapidated, deteriorated, decayed, or damaged to the extent that it's unfit for human habitation?
Yes, sir.
And is the structure a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare?
Yes, sir.
And did you provide a notice to the owner, or the owners or the occupants for this public hearing?
I attempted to do this.
And you did the occupant as well?
Yes, sir.
And did you provide notice to any potential lien holders?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you published notice of the hearing in the newspaper?
That's correct.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Anybody in the audience on this one? Heather, you don't want to go again? Okay, same neighborhood, so. All right, we will close the public hearing on this one at 7:02. C14, consideration and possible approval of an ordinance finding certain buildings, dwellings, and/or structures located at 515 Woodlawn, Vidor, Texas, to be public nuisances and ordering the demolition and/or building repairs, dwellings, or structures.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilmember Barker, second by Councilmember McGowan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C15, public hearing to show just cause why the buildings, dwellings, or structures located at 1290 Dogwood, Vidor, Texas, should not be demolished or repaired in accordance with the City of Vidor ordinance. We'll open this public hearing at 7:02.
Mayor, this breaking comment further, I think this property was already demolished by the owner, so I don't think there'll be any action needed
Oh.
unless anybody else wants to speak on it.
Correct, 1290 Dogwood. Because we included this into the demo process, the owner decided to demo it on his own at no cost to the city.
Okay.
There is some debris that needs to be cleaned up, but I'm pretty sure that
You'll follow up with that?
the owner will follow up.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll close the public hearing at 7:03 on that one. And then consideration of possible approval of an ordinance finding certain buildings, dwellings, and/or structures located at 1290 Dogwood to be public nuisances and/or ordering the demolition and/or repairs of dwellings or structures. We will pass on that because that's been handled. C17, public hearing to show just cause why the buildings, dwellings, or structures located at 1390 Dogwood, Vidor, Texas, should not be demolished or repaired in accordance with the ordinance of the City of Vidor, Texas. Open this public hearing at 7:03. Same thing with this one, or the?
Same thing, council members and mayor. 1390 suffered severe fire damage, as you can see by the pictures.
But this one wasn't torn down by the owner?
This has not
Okay.
been torn down by the owners, although, well.
It's right next door to it.
Okay, Chris?
Still Mr. Ranky, code enforcement officer?
So far, yes,
For 1390 Dogwood, who did you determine to be the owner of this property?
Charles DeWitt and Dorothy DeWitt. But Dorothy DeWitt is deceased.
Okay. Any lien holders?
Yes, sir, Orange County Tax Assessor Office.
And that's for unpaid taxes here?
Yes, sir.
What did you notice about this property whenever you inspected it?
Severe fire damage, sir.
And what were the dates this property was inspected?
November 19th, 2025, and January 29th, 2026.
And for the January 29th, 2026 inspection, did you complete a substandard building inspection report?
Yes, sir.
Were there any other inspections or follow-ups Were there any other mortgages, lien holders, or interest holders that you became aware of that were not notified?
None that I'm aware of, sir.
Did you provide the notice to the owners of the violations?
Yes, I did, sir.
The
living.
Okay, that was a letter dated January 29, 2026.
Yes, sir.
And did you also send another letter on February 19th after it was read back?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide a copy of the substandard building report to the owners?
Yes, I did, sir.
And I think you just mentioned this, but the property was red tagged and prohibited for occupancy.
Yes, sir.
What violations did you notice and note in your letter from January and February?
Again, sir, it was 10-271, A1 through A7.
And did you advise the owners they had 30 days to make repairs, remove the structures, or demolish them?
Yes, sir.
And was the compliance date in the first letter on about March 2nd, 2026?
Yes, sir.
And in the red tag letter, was that the repairs or removal or demolition, was that on or before March 20th of 2026?
Yes, sir.
Were any permits pulled for repairs?
None, sir.
Were any repairs made to the property that you're aware of?
None, sir.
Any contact from the owners?
Yes, sir. The owner, Mr. DeWitt, expressed desire to demo the house himself, but because his wife was on the title and she deceased, that means he would have to get a heirship paperwork to have concurrence to demo it, I guess. He decided he didn't want to go that route, so otherwise he was going to sign an exemption just to go and let the city do it. But since he did not want to pursue the heirship paperwork, we're here today.
Does the property remain in the same or worse condition than when you observed it in November or January?
It's the same, sir.
Okay. Do you believe the structures are in violation of Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe the structure meets the definition of a dangerous structure as defined by Section 10-271?
That's correct, sir.
And you believe the structure meets the definition of substandard?
Yes, sir.
And can the structure be brought into compliance at a total cost of no more than 50% of the fair market value?
No, sir.
Is the structure dilapidated, deteriorated, decayed, or damaged to the extent that it's unfit for human habitation?
Yes, sir.
And is the structure a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide notice to the owners of this public hearing?
Yes, I did, sir.
And did you provide notice to any lien holders of the public hearing?
Yes, I did, sir.
Did you provide notice or publish notice in the newspaper?
Yes, I did, sir.
That's all I have.
Anybody in the audience for this one? Okay. We will close the public hearing at 7:07. C18, consideration and possible approval of an ordinance finding certain buildings, dwellings, and/or structures located at 1390 Dogwood, Vidor, Texas, to be public nuisances and ordering the demolition and/or repair of buildings, dwellings, or structures.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C19, public hearing to show just cause why the buildings, dwellings, or structures located at 310 East Tram, Vidor, Texas, should not be demolished or repaired in accordance with the ordinances of the City of Vidor, Texas. We will open the public hearing at 7:08. I do want to mention this one has burnt twice.
I'm sorry?
This one has actually burnt twice.
Oh,
Just,
I'll demo it twice then, if approved.
it was burnt for a while, left, and then repaired, and then it has burnt again. So,
Sounds like a nuisance to me.
yes.
Mr. Ranky,
Sir.
Code Enforcement Officer.
Yes, sir.
For 310 East Tram, who is the owner of this property?
Matt Lawson.
sir.
And did you determine if there's any lien holders?
Yes, sir. Housing and Urban Development in Orange County, Texas, does it?
And what did you observe about this property when you inspected it?
Fire damage again, right across from Walmart. I think everybody's seen it.
Okay.
Directly across.
What was the date you inspected the property?
February 13th, 2026.
And did you complete a substandard building inspection report based on the February 13th, 2026 inspection?
Yes, sir.
And were there any other inspections or follow-ups done to see if it was
Same as previous church. Drive-by, just use the same property and it was one.
any other mortgages, lien holders, or interest holders that were not notified?
No, sir, I don't know.
Did you provide notice to the owners of the violation?
Yes, sir, I did.
That letter dated February 7th,
271, A5, A3 through A5 through A7.
Did you advise the owners that they had 30 days to make repairs, remove the structures, or demolish?
Yes, sir, I did.
And was that deadline honored about March 19th, 26th?
Yes, sir.
Were any permits pulled for repairs?
No, sir.
And were the repairs made?
No, sir.
Any contact from the owners?
Yes, sir. I've had phone contact with Mr. Lawson. He didn't seem to have any concern about repairing the damage, but he did inquire about commercial opportunities for the property since it's zoned commercial.
So future use of the property?
Future use of the property, correct. And that was the extent of the conversation.
Does the property remain in the same or worse condition as your last inspection?
Same, sir.
Do you believe the structures are a violation of Chapter 10 of the Vidor Code of Ordinances?
Yes, I do, sir.
And do you believe the structures meet the definition of a dangerous structure as defined by Section 10-270?
Yes, I do, sir.
Do you believe the structures meet the definition of a substandard?
Yes, sir.
And can the structures be brought into compliance at a total cost of no more than 50% of their market value?
No, sir, I don't believe it can.
And is the structure dilapidated, deteriorated, decayed, or damaged to the extent that it's unfit for human habitation?
Yes, sir, it is.
And is the structure a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare?
Yes, sir, it is.
Did you provide notice to the owner of this public hearing?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you provide notice to the lien holders of this public hearing?
Yes, I did, sir.
And did you publish a notice of the hearing?
That's correct, sir.
That's all I have, Mayor.
I do want to confirm, so all the demo costs, all costs associated with this will go as a lien on the property if he mentioned later intent on wanting to do something else, but didn't want to take care of this part, it will be a lien filed against it, correct?
Yes, we will file a lien to recoup monies spent.
Okay. Anybody in the audience want to speak on this one? This is the one that's directly across from the Walmart grocery pickup part. So we will close the public hearing at 7:12. C20, consideration and possible approval of an ordinance finding certain buildings, dwellings, and/or structures located at 310 East Tram, Vidor, Texas, to be public nuisances and ordering the demolition and/or repairs of buildings, dwellings, or structures. A motion by Councilmember McGowan, second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Rick. And Lane is backup guard.
Thank you.
C21, consideration of adjournment. Motion by Councilmember Thompson, second by Councilmember Barker. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Meeting is adjourned at 7:12.